So it's no secret that people have been flocking to Florida at a faster rate in recent years. But why? And why so many more in 2022? This is a question you've asked yourself. Stick around, we'll give you the top 3 reasons. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the channel, or back to the channel, Living in Fort Lauderdale with Kevin Seuss. We're licensed realtors in the state of Florida, which means as much as we love making these videos, we'd love more to help you guys with any real estate related questions or issues. So we're the folks that answer the phone calls, text messages, and emails. So anything you folks need, we'd love to help you out with. Let's go right ahead and jump right into it. So we've done a handful of videos on living and moving in South Florida. There's a reason for it. It's popular and becoming even more so. People have been asking more and more about South Florida and why are so many folks moving here. We wanted to put this video together for you and give you some of the top reasons people may be thinking of moving to South Florida. So why are folks moving to South Florida in 2022? Well, based upon the most recent information from the Census Bureau, Florida has led the nation's inbound moving percentage at 62%. What that really means is that 62% of the people that are relocating are thinking about or moving into South Florida itself. While folks have been moving to South Florida for many years for the awesome weather and less restrictive environment that has attracted many folks, the top 3 reasons our clients, prospective clients, and friends for 2022 are. First one is wage growth. Median household income has been accelerating in South Florida in recent years. According to the most recent data from the U.S. Census and Department of Labor, Metro Miami, and that's actually raises an very interesting question, one asked by many of our viewers, what actually makes up South Florida? South Florida is actually made up of Miami-Dade County, Broward, and Palm Beach counties. So it's basically those 3 counties. And the median household has increased by like 24% from 2015 to 2020. That's coming after remaining relatively flat for the previous 5 years from 2010 to 2015. So let me kind of put that in perspective for you. A 1-year change from 2019 to 2020 is basically 6%. The household median income has gone up from $56,775 in 2019 to $60,141 in 2020. That's a pretty huge jump, especially given all the things that are going on in the world today. Over the last 5 years, it's gone up by 24% from $48,745 to the $60,141. And over the past 10 years, even with the flatness from 2010 to 2015, it's gone up by almost 23% from $49,000 up to $60,000. And while the median income for the metro area hasn't been released for last year, just kind of based upon home prices, population growth, all the indicators are pointing to another banner year for a larger than average wage growth in South Florida. Next thing is that kind of going into that, the job market. South Florida has the 12th largest economy in the U.S. Now, to kind of put that in perspective, it's about the same as the countries of Hong Kong, Israel, Colombia, and Chile. In fact, the 120-mile-long Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties in South Florida is thought of as Florida's Gold Coast because of the amount of international trade and domestic commerce that goes on a regular basis. Just to kind of put things in perspective for you, basically the GDP of South Florida is over $365 billion and has grown by almost 50% over the last 10 years. Over the next 7 years, the job market in South Florida is projected to grow by 7.5%, according to the Florida Department of Economic Security. Business sectors in South Florida are showing the lowest rates of unemployment include education, health services, and professional business services, which not coincidentally are some of the hottest job sectors in the country overall. South Florida is the 2nd largest international banking center in the U.S., according to Florida Trend, just behind basically New York City and Wall Street. So there's over 1,400 multinational corporations and 75 foreign consulates and trade centers that are based in South Florida itself. There's also a lot of high-profile, very well-known companies located in South Florida, including Aldi, Ecolab, Chiquita Brands International, which is the Chiquita Banana, Hong Kong-based Tektronix Industries. They make things like Milwaukee Tools, Ryobi, Hoover, and Oric, all very well-known, very famous household brands. South Florida is also a very growing business market with companies like Microsoft, Spotify, Citrix, and Goldman Sachs, all having a substantial presence here. The other thing, too, is to kind of feed into that job market is there's a lot of major public and private universities and colleges in South Florida. University of Miami, Florida International University, Florida Atlantic University, Miami-Dade College, University of Fort Lauderdale, and Palm Beach State College. All very good, very reputable colleges that are turning out very highly qualified candidates. The Port of Miami, Port Everglades, and Port of Palm Beach and Miami River Port are the 4 seaports in South Florida, and they serve cargo and commercial cruise lines, and they are always busy. The other thing is that Miami International Airport, Fort Lauderdale, or Hollywood International Airport, and Palm Beach Airport service over 90 million domestic and international passengers each year. So there's a lot of stuff going on down here in South Florida that's attracting people to come down here to South Florida. But probably one of the most significant things that we're hearing is basically it's a combination of what we refer to as quality of life and culture. It's kind of often combined to the same because you kind of can't have one without the other. A lot of times it's the culture that actually contributes to the quality of life. Several neighborhoods in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and West Palm were recently listed among South Florida's best neighborhoods to live in by the South Florida Business Journal. And what the report did is it basically examined about 15,000 towns and neighborhoods and compared some key quality of life factors and statistics such as cost of living, job opportunities, public schools, and crime statistics. Some of the key quality of life stats are South Florida is the only really major region in the continental U.S. with a tropical climate, which that kind of translates into having a very, very warm, very, very outdoorsy type environment pretty much all year round. I read recently that South Florida experiences about 3,000 hours of sunlight a year, which basically equates into somewhere between 7 and 8 hours of sunlight every single day of the year. That's amazing. That kind of gets people kind of going and kind of moving out. It's less than a 4-hour drive to world-class Orlando area theme parks such as Disney, SeaWorld, and Universal Studios. Some of the best beaches in South Florida are South Beach, which everybody's heard of, Pompano Beach, and the Florida Keys. South Florida is also home to a number of very, very high quality, very reputable healthcare providers. It's something that everybody considers when they're looking to move into Florida, make sure that they have things to take care of themselves and have good healthcare. There's a plethora of pro sport teams that are clustered right around here. Miami Dolphins, Miami Marlins, Miami Heat, Florida Panthers. South Florida is also home to a number of the off-season baseball camps for a lot of the professional baseball teams. The other thing is that we found is that when we found this after moving down here is South Florida is very, very animal friendly. In fact, you can pretty much bring your dog or your pets pretty much anywhere you want to go. In fact, a lot of the restaurants that we've been visiting actually have organic dog food that are prepared right on the spot. One of the coolest things that we found is one of our favorite restaurants, Shooters. It's on the Intercoastal Waterway. If you're down here, we certainly recommend that you check it out. It's definitely a must-see, must-visit. But the cool thing is that we take our little Yorkie Buford, or those of you that may have seen him. He's about a 5.5, 6-pound Yorkie who thinks he's 55 or 60 pounds by the way he acts. But we take him with us wherever we go. Now, they actually have a chef on site there that will mix up an organic dog food for him, very healthy, and they basically serve it to him as if he were any other patron, which is kind of cool and it's kind of neat. And if you go out there on a Saturday or Sunday, we strongly encourage that you guys do check out the brunches. It's killer. There'll be no shortage of people who have their dogs, anything from 5.5, 6-pound Yorkies and Chihuahuas like Buford is, up to 55, 60, 70-pound dogs. Everybody's there, and it's a very cool, kind of a neat area to go through. That kind of leads into kind of the second part of it, which is the culture. I recognize that the city's culture is a little bit more difficult to define, and it's probably even more difficult to quantify. But still, if you ask people about an area's culture, most will tell you, well, it's good, it's bad, it's vibrant, it's strong, it's boring, it's not, whatever. For example, if you ask folks about Fort Lauderdale's culture, most would define it as good, okay? A few may define it as boring, but, well, I mean, unless you don't like beaches and palm trees and great weather, you know, that could be boring.
Who doesn't like the beach?
But our friends at Wallet Hub ranked 180 U.S. cities based upon 65 different criteria that fall in the categories of entertainment, nightlife, cost, big factor, and South Florida fared very well. As a matter of fact, it fared very, very well. Miami ranks number 4 on the list, and Fort Lauderdale ranks number 15. Two of the biggest cities in South Florida are ranking in the top 20 of over 180 U.S. cities. It doesn't really surprise anybody because South Florida really has something for everybody, whether it's the clubs and the nightlife of Miami and the kind of the disco beat going around, the more relaxed, kind of laid-back atmosphere of Fort Lauderdale, the arts and the theater vibe that you pick up when you go to Boca Raton, or the family focus that you get from Pompano Beach, wherever. There's always something, that a neighborhood that is there for you and something for you guys to do. Another cultural factor that attracts many from the Northeast especially is a diversity. Compared to other parts of the state, Metro Miami is one of the most diverse areas around here. For those moving from heavily diverse areas in the Northeast, New York City, Trenton, Paramus, up in Newark, Boston, places like that, South Florida is actually more of what they're used to dealing with from a cultural standpoint. All these kind of combine to make South Florida an incredibly attractive to those folks moving from northern states. If you found the video interesting, and we hope you did, you found it informative, and we hope you did, hopefully you found it amusing, which we certainly hope you did, and we hope you'll consider subscribing, tap on the bell, go ahead and drop a comment or two in the block below, and we appreciate it. Thanks. Until next time.